Thank you very much, Jessica. Ferguson does have 7 strikeouts already on the day. He's gotten at least 1 in every inning, including the 3rd inning when he struck out all 3 batters he faced, and it will be the bottom third of the Towson lineup coming up once again. That bottom third that all struck out the last time they came up to the plate, so it'll be Bowles, Winter, and Bennett. Again, Ferguson has faced the minimum number of batters, has given up 1 hit, but working right through this Towson Tigers lineup. Still a scoreless game as we start out the 6th inning with Ferguson throwing in the first pitch to Bowles, and it'll be swung on and caught by Barbosa in right field. So a nice 1 pitch out again for Ferguson, who's getting help from this Tigers hitting.
Yeah, Ferguson, we've been talking about it all day. He's really keeping that pitch count down. Only now 54 pitches through 5 1/3 innings, and looks like he's got the stuff to have a long start here, go potentially even a complete game. Although we'll see when we get there.
Winter looks at ball 1, so 1-0 now to the lefty batter. He'll swing and line this one over into left field, but Matt Miller just takes a couple steps in, gets under it. And that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. So 3 pitches here in the top of the 6th and 2 outs.
Yeah, some quick outs, and Ferguson, he's been doing it all day, and he's working on a gem here. Still faced the minimum number of batters, and through 5 2/3 now.
Strike 1 is in there just above the knees for Hunter Bennett. So neither Bowles nor Winter took their 2nd straight strikeout of the day. Bennett did go down looking, and he'll ground this one. Jason Vosser on the line, catches it. A diving stop by the freshman. Showing the leather today. He's had a couple of great stops over at second base. And Jason Vosser, what a find for Neil McPhee, playing solid defense over at second base.
He's been doing it all year, and he does it once again right there with the diving grab of that liner off the bat of Bennett. And that will end the 6th inning.
So 18 up and 18 down for Kevin Ferguson. He has been very, very good so far today. And Husky fans, you can watch Go NU Xtreme on the go. Go NU Xtreme is available on the iPhone, the iPad, and Android devices. Now you can log on and watch the Huskies wherever you are. Check out the Go Huskies app on the Apple App Store for Northeastern University athletics news, updated team schedules, photos, and more. Visit the Apple App Store and search Go Huskies.
And due up this half inning for the Huskies, it'll be Matt Miller, Rob Fonseca, and Jason Vossler, who made that impressive defensive play to end the 6th.
So Austin still on the mound for Towson. It'll be his 3rd inning of work after the starter Taylor Clark only went 3 innings. Was pitching fairly well, but Northeastern really worked up that pitch count with a lot of foul balls, and now so far through 2 innings, Austin has thrown 29 pitches, so a bit more of a normal number. Delivers the first pitch to Miller. It's a ball outside. Here comes the pitch. That one catches the outside edge. That'll be a strike on Miller, so 1-1 now. Pretty quick pace of this game here. We're just about an hour and 10 minutes after first pitch, and we're into the bottom of the 6th inning. Miller watches that one go down a little bit low. That's ball 2. The best part about college games is the pace.
Yeah, it's definitely a change of pace, no pun intended, from Major League games where you see some of those 4-hour affairs. Yesterday we saw that with two games just over 2 hours each. So probably about the time it would take for one Red Sox-Yankees game. And they got 2 in here.
Miller takes a walk. So Austin again letting the leadoff batter reach base. Yesterday, the Red Sox had a 1-0 game that still went 2 hours and 44 minutes. Usually games that are 1-0, even in the pros, are only about 2.5 hours, but When you're the Red Sox, yeah, I guess you take your time.
Yeah, it's just how they do it, I guess.
And even going against Jake Peavy, who's a former National League pitcher, and they usually go a little bit quicker. But that'll bring up Rob Fonseca, who's reached base twice so far. He had a double down the third baseline in the second inning. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. The pitch sails over his head, and that'll allow Miller to easily advance down to second.
And another look here at the wild pitch from Tyler Austin. And
it's got away from him.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but Miller sort of bluffed a steal there and was going to stay at first, and then the wild pitch, of course, he is now able to advance to second. So a 1-0 count to Fonseca.
Austin ready with Fonseca stepping back into the batter's box after the quick conversation between the pitcher and the catcher. Count is 1-0. Runner Miller on second base, and Fonseca swings and misses. That one sinking down through the strike zone. Came in around belt level, ended up down towards the ground by the time it got all the way to the catcher. Austin, the 1-1. This one bounces in there, does not get far away from Parker, though, as Miller heads back to second base. So here comes the 2-1 as Austin waits on the signal from Parker. Still nobody out in the bottom of the sixth inning. It's a scoreless game at Friedman Diamond. Strike two is called. Just over the outside half of the plate. Austin again, now the 2-2 pitch. Northeastern does have a runner on second, and this one is low. The home plate umpire will say that Fonseca went around, so...
No.
Actually, no, they'll say he did not go around. They'll say he did hold up, so the pitch was low. It will be a full count. Looked like he was signaling to say that he went around.
I couldn't tell if he was signaling a strike or if he was looking for the appeal, but I think he went for the appeal, and they said that he did not go.
That's right. There's only two umpires here, and the one that had been over at first is now closer to second, so that's where the appeal was going to. He'll foul the pitch back and stay alive with a 3-2 count. Kind of tough to appeal to that umpire.
Yeah, much tougher to make the call from the position he's in now as opposed to being right down that first base line for a right-handed hitter.
Just wanted to make sure he got some help, though. Still better to ask the question than make the wrong call yourself. Austin now the 3-2 is low, and Fonseca takes a walk. 2 straight walks from Austin. Northeastern showing their patience at the plate, and Jason Vossler will step up next.
Vossler today 1 for 2. He singled in the 4th inning and reached second base, but no Huskies have crossed the plate thus far.
Vossler, the lefty, steps in with Miller on second, Fonseca on first. Grounds this one foul over to his right. Again, the infield, that double play depth, not really too worried about either runner. Miller could be a threat to go. Vossler waits on the 0-1. Grounds this one over to first base, gets through the hole, just past the first baseman Butler, and the throw all the way home. 1 run will score, and Northeastern gets the first run of the game. They lead it 1-0 as Matt Miller comes around from second, and Fonseca goes over to third on Vossler's single into right.
Yeah, Vossler puts that one right through the right side, and as you said, Miller comes around from second for the first Huskies run. So Vossler with the defensive gem to end the top half of the 6th inning, and the RBI single here in the bottom half.
For a second, it looked like that could have gotten dangerous with Fonseca standing. The ball actually went pretty much right between where Fonseca was with his lead and the first baseman, Butler. Both of them had to get out of the way. Like Butler was trying to be more defensive and protect his body than he was trying to field the ball. Wasn't able to come up with it, and it did get through and allowed Miller to score. So with nobody out, Northeastern does lead 1-0. John LaRue at the plate. And he'll take ball one. Runners are on the corners. Fonseca on third, Vossler on first. Huskies looking to get this offense going. Again, the first three batters of the inning have reached. Believe it or not, this is the sixth inning. If you remember yesterday, Northeastern scored 8 runs in the sixth inning of Game 2. As the pitch is fouled back by LaRue, so 1-1 the count. 6 could be the magic number for Northeastern.
Got the first 3 runners on here, and yesterday in the second game of the doubleheader, I believe they put the first 7 runners on in the 6th inning.
Swing and a miss for LaRue. That's strike 2, so 1-2 now the count. Of course, if Ferguson can continue to pitch the way he has so far, that 1 run may be enough.
It may be.
1-0 is the score. Northeastern still threatening to put on more. Runners at the corners, the 1-2 pitch. And that one is low, ball 2. Evening up the count, John LaRue being patient. Northeastern has already drawn 2 walks in the inning. That was Miller and Fonseca, the first 2 batters who came up. And then Vossler had the RBI single. So LaRue again waits for the 2-2. Swing and a miss. That'll be a strikeout for Austin and the first out of the inning. The Northeastern still with an opportunity to put on some more runs as Tucker Roeder comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. So here comes Roeder. The right-handed batter with the runners on the corners will try to check his swing, but he did go around, says the home plate umpire, and that'll be strike 1. Pitch was low, and Roeder knew it as soon as he started to go around, but couldn't hold himself up in time. First pitch strike for Austin. And that one is in there.
That pitch right on the inside corner from Austin to get the called strike 2.
0-2 now, the count to Roeder. Fonseca on third, Vossler on first. Austin, the pitcher, waiting on the signal from Parker, the catcher. From the stretch. Here's the pitch, and fouled off into the screen. Keeps it at 0-2. It's the 51st pitch thrown through 2 1/3 plus innings so far for Austin. After the Huskies worked up the pitch count for the starter Taylor Clark. Austin now the 0-2, and that one is low. The catcher Parker trying to frame it and bring it up, but the home plate umpire wouldn't give him the call. Now it's 1-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Austin delivers that one again, just low, hair below the knees of Tucker Roeder.
So the Huskies continue to make these Towson pitchers work.
Roeder standing in at 6'3", so going low is fairly easy to do. And he swings at that one low, and that'll be the 3rd strike. 2 straight swinging strikeouts. Put 2 quick outs on the board now after Northeastern had their first 3 batters of the inning reach base. And Oliver Hart will be the new batter. He is also 0 for 2 on the day.
Hart, a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. That was against the starter Clark. And this is his 2nd time facing Tyler Austin.
This one popped up over into right center field. It was Fred Antonio who actually made a few steps over to his right first, and then the wind carrying it over towards right field a little bit further, and Fred Antonio does get under it to make the catch. So a pop out for Hart, and that'll do it for 6. But Northeastern does get 1 on the board, and they lead it 1-0, and we'll go down and hear from Jessica Starbird once again.
Thanks, Andy. The Huskies definitely took advantage of a couple of breaks given up by the Towson Tigers in the 6th inning, putting one run up on the board from Jason Vossler with an RBI single. Hopefully the Huskies can continue to do this, get some runs up on the board, because the breaks are what really got them through in Game 1 yesterday with Aaron Barboza getting the walk-off single. So we'll see if the at-bats can come alive in the last couple of innings of the game. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Thank you, Jessica. And Kevin Ferguson still on the mound for Northeastern. He's only thrown 58 pitches through 6 innings of work. Starting at the 7th inning here, he has faced 18 batters and recorded 18 outs, although he has given up 1 hit to Towson's Kurt Wirtz. And we will be facing the top of the Towson lineup now. Pat Fitzgerald, then Zach Fisher and Dominic Fred Antonio. Fred Antonio, the one making the catch to end the bottom of the 6th inning, had to fight with the wind as that last ball really looked like it was coming over to right center and then ended up over closer to probably about maybe the 15, 20-yard line.
Yeah, carried about 30 yards. Looked like it was going to be somewhere around the 50 over here.
And now Fitzgerald shows bunt, pulls it back, but takes strike 1 over the plate anyways as Ferguson gets it in there. Ferguson working quickly here, delivers and swung on and missed. A big cut for Pat Fitzgerald. Cannot make contact though, and he falls down 0-2. He's got 1 strikeout so far. 6th inning was the first today that Ferguson did not record any strikeouts as he delivers ball 1 outside. He does have 7 so far. And this pitch is high. Goes well over the head of Pat Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald, who stands at 5'7".
Ferguson gets it right back at him. A nice easy grounder, picks it up and throws over to first. 19 up, 19 down for Kevin Ferguson. So Zach Fisher will come up to the plate. Third baseman today for Towson. Left-handed batter against the left-handed pitcher as Fisher watches this one go by high. So 1-0 with 1 down here in the top of the 7th inning. Northeastern does lead 1-0. Fisher lines this one foul over the third base side, hits a tree over there well out of play, and somehow finds the hole between the cars. Seems like every time there's a foul ball, it comes down between cars parked down the left field side.
I don't think I've ever seen a car hit at Parsons here at Friedman Diamond, and I am amazed every time.
I don't know how that's happened. Strike 2 was fouled off, by the way, as you saw. It's 1-2 now on Zach Fisher. Ferguson trying to pick up his 8th strikeout. Instead, it's grounded over to Tucker Roeder at first. He picks it up and runs over to tag the bag himself. So 2 outs now. Ferguson still working quickly.
Yeah, Ferguson continues to just work right through this Towson lineup. As we're taking another look at the grounder to Roeder here. And 67 pitches now through 6 2/3 for Ferguson.
Has faced 20 batters and recorded 20 outs. Towson does have 1 hit though. Wirtz coming off the base pass on a pickoff as Fred Antonio takes ball 1 high.
Fred Antonio 0 for 2 today with a pair of ground outs.
Pitches in there over the outside part of the plate for strike 1. So 1-1 now with 2 down in the top of the 7th inning. Definitely hear that breeze coming across the mics now. It is absolutely picked up coming from the left center field, and Fred Antonio fouls back into the screen. Makes it 1-2, and looks like he's got an adjustment to make, maybe on his shoes or socks. Got to have those pant legs pulled up exactly to the right height. Ferguson delivers the 1-2. Strike 3 called, and Ferguson with his 8th strikeout of the day retires the 7th inning. And 21 up, 21 down. Northeastern coming up to the plate. It'll be Connor Lyons trying to start things off, but we will head to the 7th inning stretch with a 1-0 game. Huskies fans, be sure to join us back here. The next home game actually won't be for a couple of weeks, as it will be on Tuesday, May 8th, against the University of Maine in a non-conference matchup. Huskies will take on the Black Bears. That game starting at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, May 8th. They do have 2 non-conference games remaining on the schedule here at Friedman Diamond. Following that game, they'll have their final CAA series of the year that weekend, the 11th, 12th, and 13th against Old Dominion, and then they'll keep playing right through Monday against Rhode Island. That'll close out the home schedule on the year here at Friedman Diamond. But of course, you can catch all 5 of those games here on Go NU Extreme. All the action with live stats and an interactive chat. Be sure to check that out in a couple of weeks. The Huskies will be on the road for a little bit. They've got 2 midweek games this week at Boston College and at UMass. Then they've got a CAA series at Hofstra over the weekend. Right now, Northeastern 3.5 games out of the playoffs, but they do have 10 Colonial Athletic Association contests remaining. They still have a chance to climb their way back in.
Yeah, they've got plenty of opportunities to make up that ground, and they're hoping to start some sort of a winning streak here, starting with the 2 games yesterday. And Tyler Austin back on the mound here for his 4th inning of work, facing Connor Lyons to lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Huskies.
It'll be Lyons then the top of the order as he watches ball 1 go a little bit outside. That's the 55th pitch of the day, the 56th pitch of the day now for Austin. Again, as you said, in his 4th inning of relief work. Throws ball 2 outside, so 2-0 now on the number 9 hitter for the Huskies. Northeastern does lead 1-0. Strike 1 over the outside corner from Austin to Lyons, as Kevin Ferguson has really been shutting down this Towson offense, and he's gotten some help from some excellent defensive plays in the field. Lyons watches strike 2 go by. He's already struck out looking twice today. Wasn't very happy with either call. Here's the 2-2 from Austin, and this one, he'll go down swinging, and it was dropped by the catcher Parker, but thrown down to second. So the 3rd strikeout of the day for Connor Lyons goes down K2-3, and that brings up the top of the Northeastern lineup, Aaron Barbosa, who has a triple to his name on the day, but he is 1 for 3.
And some action down in that Towson bullpen right now.
Northeastern's bullpen is still quiet, although they do have a few players sitting out on the bench as Barbosa watches ball 1 high. Huskies typically wait until a few innings into the game before they even send the bullpen pitchers out there.
And it looks like that's Paul Beers out in the bullpen for the Towson Tigers.
Strike 1 over the outside corner to Barbosa. It's 1-1 with 1 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. Still a 1-0 lead for the Huskies. Barbosa swings and fouls back into the screen. 1-2 now to the leadoff hitter. Leading the team in average. Would love to get things started and add some insurance here for the Huskies in the bottom of the 7th. Pops this one again, foul back towards the screen behind home plate. Again, the way Ferguson has been pitching so far today, that 1 run may be enough, but you never want to rely on that, as anything can happen at any point. Barbosa grounds it down the first baseline. This will roll foul, gets a little more than halfway down the line before rolling to a stop in foul territory. And Barbosa will head back into the batter's box with a 1-2 count. Still 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Barbosa trying to continue a pretty solid weekend at the plate. Yesterday was 5 for 10 with a run and the game-winning RBI. In game 1 of the doubleheader, watches ball 2 go high and maybe a little bit outside. Barbosa waiting on the 2-2 pitch. Austin gets the signal from Parker, delivers to the plate. This one high and again outside. So a 3-2 count. Barbosa has really shown some patience at the plate so far today, making these Towson pitchers work. And now the pitcher will ask for a new ball. Austin gets one from the umpire. Didn't like the way the grip felt in his hand, so he'll get a fresh piece of leather. Barbosa gets back into the batter's box now with a 3-2 count and 1 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. And this one lined over into left field. That'll be a fair ball and a base hit for Aaron Barbosa, his 2nd hit of the day following a 3rd inning triple. And Barbosa gets on first base, and the offense started for Northeastern in the bottom of the 7th.
Nice piece of hitting there from Barbosa. As we take another look, he takes that pitch the other way into left field and reaches first with that 1-out single.
Despite being a lefty, Aaron Barbosa goes to the opposite field quite a bit. And that'll bring up John Puttress, who is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts so far this afternoon. Breeze is blowing, blows some dirt off the pitcher's mound, and Austin delivers this one high and inside. The umpire had stepped out already, so no pitch.
I think the Huskies dugout is arguing for a balk call there. I'm not sure exactly what they were seeing.
Maybe they thought that Austin had started his motion and then stopped, so we'll take another look at it, see if we can figure it out.
And there's the pitch. The umpire had stepped out. As you can see, he was discussing the call with someone in the Huskies dugout, and Austin threw the pitch and up and in on Puttress there.
Austin did look over to first, actually took his foot off the mound. Didn't actually fake the throw that would have been a balk, though. Barbosa goes, he's in at second base. The throw down is high and cannot be brought down in time. Fitzgerald having to leap up and get that one. So Barbosa with a stolen base.
Barbosa with his 10th steal of the year in 11 attempts. Got a nice jump there as you take a look, and slides in under the tag.
Would have been a close play if the throw had come in a little bit lower. But Fitzgerald, the 5'7" second baseman, had to really jump up and grab that one and then bring it down, not in time to get Barbosa as the pitch is fouled off by Puttress. The pitch on the steal attempt was a ball, so with the foul it's now 1-1. With 1 out and a runner on second, Huskies still leading 1-0. We're going to pick up a series sweep over the Towson Tigers here at Friedman Diamond. It would be their 3rd win in a row following a 6-game losing streak. And this one is low, ball 2. Puttress held up on that one, thought about swinging. Came in below the knees. Puttress again trying to get on base for his first time today. He is 0 for 3. Does have a 2-1 count with the runner on second, trying to add some insurance runs for this Huskies team. And he will take ball 3 again low. Austin knows he really can't throw too high on Puttress. We'll get a new ball. Northeastern certainly making these Towson pitchers work today. 71 pitches so far through 3 innings and change of relief work. Here's Austin on the mound, the 3-1. Gets the call from Parker, checks the runner back at second, nobody holding him on, and a grounder over to the right side, picked up by Fitzgerald. No play over at third, so they'll just have to take Puttress at first. But Barbosa does move over, and there's another runner 90 feet away from Northeastern. It's Barbosa's 2nd trip over to third base today.
Yeah, Barbosa looking to come in to score, put a little insurance run on the board there for the Huskies, and you see that replay of the ground ball there from Puttress that moves Barbosa over.
Matt Miller will have the chance to bring him in if he can get a base hit here coming from the left side of the plate. Miller does have the only run scored so far today. It took a walk in the last inning. and eventually came around to score as he takes strike one over the outside part of the plate. Matt Miller 0 for 2, but he does have that run scored. Looking to add some insurance, put an RBI on his resume for the day. Miller fouls this one over to the left side into the screen. He's able to advance to second on a wild pitch, and then Jason Vossler got the RBI. Vossler's had quite a game himself. He's 2 for 3 and also had a few excellent defensive plays helping out Kevin Ferguson, but now the 0-2 heads into Miller, and that one is low just below the knees. So he'll stand in there with a 1-2 count and 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. Northeastern trying to get some extra runs here. Do not want to just rely on that 1-run lead, although Ferguson has been sparkling on the mound so far, facing only 21 batters through 7 innings of work as Miller works himself back to an even count, 2-2, being patient, taking it a little bit low.
Fred Antonio positioned well off the line here in right field, especially with that wind blowing across. And the left-handed batter, Miller, at the plate.
Grounded over to the first base side, it'll roll foul. Again, gets a little bit more than halfway down, so Miller will head back into the batter's box. And it's a good point, especially with the wind here today. The last out of the 6th inning was a pitch that came out about towards the midfield line on the soccer field, or about the 50-yard line if you're looking at the football lines, and ended up probably closer to the maybe 15 or 20-yard line, and the wind really affecting the ball out there. So you might expect Fred Antonio to play a little bit closer to the line. About 30 yards off. So here comes the 2-2. Miller sends this one over to the left field side. That'll go well foul and out of play, though. Again, Bowles didn't even really make any effort to go after it. It was a very hard hit ball, but well foul. So Miller again, we'll see a 2-2 pitch from Austin. Still making these Towson pitchers work up those pitch counts. And this one is outside, so a full count now for Matt Miller. It's the 80th pitch of the day. Through 3 2/3 innings now for Tyler Austin, the reliever who came in to relieve Taylor Clark. Here's the 3-2. This one outside, and Miller will take the walk. Last time he walked, he came around to score, so Rob Fonseca, the cleanup man, has a chance to add some more runs for Northeastern. He'll come up to the plate. He has only been credited with one official at-bat today, in which he had a double, and he also has a hit by pitch and a walk. He's actually stood on third base all 3 times he's come to the plate. We'll have a conversation on the pitching mound. The pitching coach coming out to talk with Tyler Austin. There is still some action out in that Towson bullpen. We'll see if they make the change or if they decide to leave him in for a little bit longer. They do have runners on the corners. After Miller took a walk, Barbosa's been standing over on third for a little while.
And it looks like they will stick with Austin here as he tries to finish off the 7th.
Taylor Clark, the starter, threw 59 pitches through 3 innings when he started the game, and now the first reliever has thrown 81. They will stick with Austin, at least for now, though, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They do have runners on first and third. It's Barbosa on third, Miller on first. Fonseca coming up to the plate. Again, 1 for 1 with a hit by pitch and a walk taken. As the runner goes, Miller will get down to second with no problem. That's defensive indifference, as they don't want to throw down and allow Barbosa to hustle home and score. He certainly has the wheels to do so, and officially it will be a stolen base, but
yeah, the Tigers not wanting to fall victim to the double steal there, so no throw down to second from Parker, and that keeps Barbosa at third, but the pitch gets away and Barbosa will come in from third to score.
That makes it a 2-0 game, and Barbosa does cross the plate on a wild pitch. We saw Northeastern score the tying run yesterday on a wild pitch in the bottom of the ninth of Game 1. So they've taken advantage of those mistakes by Towson pitchers. Barbosa coming across, and Matt Miller will head over to third base. So runner 90 feet away, and Fonseca is still at the plate with a 1-1 count and 2 down in the bottom of the seventh. That one is ball 2, so 2-1 now the count. Fonseca trying to keep this going for Northeastern. They do have now a 2-0 lead over the Towson Tigers, looking for a sweep. A swing and a miss will even the count at 2-2. Swept yesterday's doubleheader with a walk-off win, and then a 10-1 victory in which they put up 8 runs in the 6th inning. That's been a lot quieter today for both teams. And strike 3 is called, down just catching the bottom outside part of the strike zone, and that'll do it as Fonseca goes down looking. But at the end of 7, it is 2-0, Northeastern on top, and we'll go down and say hello to Jessica Starbird.